Hello, Mathematical, seeing me here right now as I am playing The Crew 2, and I played this on. I did play the beta, and I played through the game because I bought the gold edition. Actually pre-ordered it via PlayStation Store, and I want to talk to you about. This is a review of The Crew 2. Now, I know there are a lot of mixed and positive comments of The Crew 2. Some people think it's good, some people think it's enjoyable, but it's a messy game. But I'm going to tell you what in my opinion is on The Crew 2. I know that the graphics on the game of The Crew 2 are a lot more polished. They're a lot more better than they were on the original Crew. And you've got 4 disciplines, lots of disciplines in this game. You've got a lot of cars, handling. It's really good, but we're going to talk to you about disciplines. You've got street racing, off-road, pro racing, which is a new one, and freestyle. You've got a street racing vehicle here, which are useful for street racing. You've got drift vehicles, which are useful for drift events. You've got drag racing, and you've got hypercar events. That's a good thing. They're all really good, and of course, the handling on all of the vehicles are kind of difficult to get used to, but with a little bit of practice you'll be able to master drifting around corners. But there's no problem with the handling. It's really tough, but it's difficult to these vehicles are quite difficult to control at speed, but it's like a learning curve. And then now we're going to move on to the off-road events. You've got Rally Raid, Motocross, and Rallycross. And I'm a big fan of off-road stuff. I like driving my off-road cars on dirt tracks and that sort of stuff. Rally Raid. I have a bit of a problem with the Rally Raid events. The Rally Raid vehicles, like this, for example, if you sometimes bump and while turning, you'll be able to end up random jumps like this. They are some of these vehicles are very nimble, like, you know, easy to handle, difficult to handle. Now back to, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you get drift events and drag racing events, like that were in the expansion on the Crew's Wild Run event. But I'm going to give you an example about how they handle on bumps and jumps. And it's a kind of a pain in the backside. It used to, but it's still a reasonable get. Still reasonable. They still handle like rally vehicles, and then we've got motocross races. And to be honest, I like motocross. They handle really well. They handle really okay on the trucks. That handle really well on rough terrain like this. But raid vehicles are a bit average, but they're still really good. And we got Rallycross, which is my personal favourite, driving around Rallycross tracks and riding on dirt tracks. That's the best part. That's really good. We now move on to my favourite part: freestyle in air race vehicles, and that's the best part. You've got power boats and pro racing circuits, touring cars, Alpha Grand Prix, air race, freestyle stuff like monster trucks, which are in the crew's Wild Run expansion. They are handled differently, and some handle differently. Some, like the powerboats, some handle awkwardly, but it's still reasonable enough for me. It takes, like I said, it's a learning curve, but I think they're all really good. You got challenges, they take a long time to get used to, and of course what I like about Classic Crew is being chased against the cops in the crew. But speaking of cops, in the Crew 2 there are no cops. There are no cops in the Crew 2, which kind of took away the excitement on the original Crew, and they just put it in. I understand that the original Crew had illegal street racing and police chasing, but in the Crew 2 there's just no cops in the Crew 2. That had a bit of a problem, but I don't mind. It's still really good. The gameplay, the graphics are also good, but I think it's really good. You got visuals, brilliant graphics, handling's quite difficult to use, but some of the events are difficult, and of course the gameplay, you got photo opportunities, you got the photo mode that was in the previous Crew, it's also in the Crew 2, video stuff, be able to share your good stuff with your friends and that sort of stuff. It's an okay game, but to be honest, in my opinion about the Crew 2, it's a lot like I said, it's an absolute learning curve. It's easy to learn but difficult to master. It takes me a long time for me to master these events, and the overall it's good, but it is a bit tricky at some places, but it is, I think, in my opinion, it's a lot better than the first Crew. We've added new stuff and new cars and planes and boats, which I like best about off-road racing and that sort of stuff. It is good. So my overall score for the Crew 2, I give it a 9 out of 10. But I think I give it a 9 out of 10 because it's okay. It's a great game, but it's good. But it's not quite perfect good, but it's an okay game. It's a decent enough game. But I will probably get a lot of I might get a lot of good. So in my opinion, Crew 2 is good. It is a lot better than the original, a lot better than the first Crew. Now that's my review. It's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for me. Now I want to see about your opinions. What do you think of the Crew 2? I did play the game 3 days early, 3-day early access before the game came out, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, I think it's really good. Let me know in the comments about your opinions on the Crew 2, and of course, be sure to like, subscribe, and some more for be notified for some more future content. Until then, see you next time, and always be sure to do the math.